So very good morning guys. Today we're talking about one of the very important concept, that is tension and acceleration, and pulley. So I want to find out tension and acceleration in a pulley. So before that, we are entering into this pulley. Let us say what is meant by tension. So what is meant by tension force? What is meant by tension force? So let us say guys, I will take one thread or string. I take one string. So I have to take one point here. It is a fixed point. I have to take a fixed point, and from this a fixed point, the tension force always it is a pulling force. Tension force always a pulling force. So it is a pulling force. So let us take an example. Now we have to take one pulley I am taking right now. I have over a block. Let us say M1 is the block, and this is also M2 is the block. So now what I am doing is that just now I told action force is a pulling force. To pulling force from the fixed point. So let's say guys, this is the fixed point and pull this force. Like this you have to pull the force. So we have to pull it. So this is the fixed point. We pull this force. So let us say this is pulling the force, and this is a fixed point. This is also pulling force. This is a fixed point. It is a pulling force. This is a fixed point. It is a pulling force. So this is the same thread. So tension force are equal. So let us say this is T. This is also T. This is also T. This is also T. All are T's known. Let's take another example. I take chains of blocks. So let us say guys, this is the block one of mass M1, and we have a thread with that a block of mass M2, and another block of mass M3 is there. So let's see guys, these are two different strings here. This string is different, this string is different. So we have different tension force here. From this point, let us say this is T1. From this point, let us say this is also T1. But whereas here is that the fixed point, here is that this is the T2, and from this is T2, which means two different strings have different tensional forces. I hope people were understood. So before that, our first concept is that we want to find out tension and acceleration in a pulley. Let's see guys here. I want to find out tension and acceleration in a pulley. Now I am taking a pulley here. So pulley I am hanging a block of mass M1, and I have to take another block of mass say M2. So M2 is the block of mass. So now what I have to do is that I put a constraint. So M1 greater than M2. So which means M1 more value, M2 less value. So acceleration is downward. I don't think so. So you people understood. That is acceleration is downward. Here acceleration is upward. My assumption is that I am taking both acceleration of the blocks are same. So this is A block, M1 block having acceleration of A, M2 block acceleration of A, both having same accelerations, is having M1 and M2 blocks. Now I want to find out the downward force. So what is the force acting guys here? M1G. It is also how much force is acting? M2G. So M2G. So both forces acting upon that. And now I have to take a fixed point here. So T is the force is acting here. I have to take another fixed point. T the force acting here. So let's see guys here. The pulley is, so here is the point. How much force experienced? So the force experienced from here is 2T force experience. From here is 2T force experience. So see guys, T plus T how much? 2T. So which means, so the net force becomes 0. That's the why the pulley in not in motion, which is in rest. So now I am applying free body diagram for block A. Let us take block A. So M1 is the block, M1 is a block having a downward force of M1G, having a upward force of capital T, and having an acceleration of A. The acceleration of A. Let's take another block. So second block that is considered guys. So what is the block here? M2 block. So this is M2 block. So this is M2G, and upward force is tension force, and having an acceleration is upward, that is A. So we have two blocks is there, M1 and M2. I draw the free body diagrams. So free body diagram is nothing but the total force acting on along the directions like X and Y and Z. So now I am applying. Let's see guys here. The acceleration is downward. So acceleration downward means what? M1G is force. M1G force more. So this is more force. So this is what guys? Less force. Because of what? Acceleration is downward. How can I write this one? So M1G minus T is equal to M1A. Let us say equation 1. Here comes here guys. So acceleration is upward. Acceleration is upward, which means T force is more, M2G less. So because of that, the object is accelerating towards upward. So what I write now? T minus M2G. T minus M2G is equal to M2A. Let us say equation 2. Now what is the title of this? I have to find out the tension and acceleration in a pulley. That is main aim of for me. For that, I am taking both the equation M1G minus T is equal to M1A. Let us say equation 1. T minus M2G is equal to M2A. Let us say equation 2. Both equations I have to add. Simple. I am doing nothing here, guys. Simply I am adding both the equations 1 and 2. Now let us say this is minus T, this is plus T. Both are cancelled. So what we get, guys? M1G minus M2G is equal to M1A plus M2A. Why? Because I am adding both the equations here. So here is what you have to take a common. These I am taking a common. M1 minus M2G is equal to M1 minus M2G is equal to M1A plus M2A. So I want A value here. So I am taking a common A. M1 plus M2 is equal to M1 minus M2 into G. So M1 minus M2 into G. So already I am taking G is the common one. It's don't want I go. So now I want A value. So A is equal to M1 minus M2 by M1 plus M2 into G. M1 minus M2 by M1 plus M2 into G. M1 minus M2 by M1 plus M2 into G. So I have to get the first one. Suppose assume me people, I want to find out to acceleration expansion. Now I want to find out to tensional force. Simply I want to find out tensional force. So we have to suppose to put anywhere of this equation, we have to get the tensional force. Let's see guys here. Now I am using one of the equation of, let us say first equation, let us go to second equation better. So I am taking second equation, T minus M2G is equal to M2A. So T is equal to M2A plus M2G. T is equal to M2A plus M2G. What is the common here? M2 is the common taken outside. M2 into what is the A value? Just now we derived one value, A value. What is that guys? M1 minus M2 by M1 plus M2 plus M2G. I hope people are understood. M1 minus M2 by M1 plus M2 plus M2G. So here is what is the common guys. So both having common. So this is G also there here, including G. So what is the common here? G is the common. Once again I have to take M2 is the common. So M2G I have to take a common. So what I have to do is that. So M1 minus M2 plus M2 M1 plus M2 square. I hope people are understood. So let's see guys here. M1 minus M2 remains the same. I am not disturbing anything. M1 minus M2 I am taking LCM. M1 plus M2. taking LCM m1 plus m2. I am not disturbing anything here. So m2g I am taking a common. M2g m1 minus m2 plus m2 square. Now what I have to do? I have to multiply this m2. Let's see what will happen. So I am taking a g is there like this. So m2 into m1 minus m2 square plus m2 m1 plus m2 square by m1 plus m. So now let's see guys, here m2 square and this m2 square is cancelled. So m2 m1 plus m2 m1 how much guys? 2 m2 m1 m2 g by m1 plus m2. So very important formula. So 2 m1 m2 by m1 plus m2 into g. So that is the way we have to find out the tensional force. I want to find out the tensional force. Very simple formula I am using here. 2 m1 m2 g by m1 plus m2. How to apply this formula? Let's see guys. I am applying both the formulas. Let's assume. So this is 5 kg block. This is 4 kg block. So this is 5 kg and that is 4 kg block. Let's see how much acceleration force will get. So what is the formula? m1 minus m2 by m1 plus m2 into g. Keep in mind guys. So it is follow the constant of m1 greater than m2. So what is the m1 value guys? 5. So 5 minus 1 by 5 plus 4 into g. So what do you get? 1 by 9. So what is the answer is that guys? G by 9 we get. G by 9 meter per second square. So meter per second square. This is the value of acceleration. I want to find out. I want to find out. I want to find out the tensional force. Once again, I want to find out the tensional force. So what is the formula guys? Tensional force. T is equal to 2 m1 m2 g by m1 plus m2. So what is the meaning of it? 2 into what is m1 m1 guys? What is the m1 value? What is the m1? M1 means 5. 5 into 4 into g into 5 plus 4. So what you get here? 2 into 5 10. 10 4 are 40. 40 g by 9 newtons. So this is the way we have to calculate the tensional force as well as acceleration in a pulley. Thank you guys. Please subscribe my channel. Please support me. Thank you.